like an ordinary box, something you can easily overlook. But inside, it holds memories that have shaped who I am today. At first glance, you might just see a few random objects like old birthday cards, receipts, letters, and tickets from places that I've been. Some of them might even seem a little bit tacky, like old keychains, plastic rings, and small souvenirs. But to me, none of this is random. Each item carries a story, a feeling, a piece of what I was at the time. And honestly, I didn't always think of them this way. At the time, they just felt like small moments, things that would pass. I didn't realize that I would come back to them later and see them differently. Some objects, like a simple plane ticket, aren't just paper. They're invitations to leave behind the familiar and step into something new. A plane ticket doesn't just take you somewhere on a map, it takes you somewhere within yourself. Holding these tickets brings me right back to that moment before boarding, not knowing what was ahead, but excited for the endless possibilities. The feeling of sitting at the gate, watching people pass by, hearing announcements in the background. It's such a small moment, but it holds so much anticipation. I also keep tickets from activities, like the first time that I went ice skating. I remember the paper around my wrist, stepping onto the ice, and being terrified of falling. The cold air, the slippery surface, and the way everyone else seemed to know exactly what they were doing, but I didn't. I was hesitant at first, barely moving, and even though I was scared, I still stepped forward. And yeah, I probably almost fell a few times, but that day taught me to try something new, even when I wasn't sure that I could. Then there are theme park tickets, like the time that I went to Disney World. I remember being completely transported, swept away in the energy of the park, the thrill of the rides, and the time that I spent with my family. It didn't last long, but it left me the sense of wonder and joy that stayed with me long after. At the time, these moments didn't feel life-changing. They were just days, just experiences, just something fun. But looking back at the things that I held on to from these experiences, I can see how much they actually meant and how they quietly became part of who I am. These brief moments, sometimes just a few hours, sometimes just a few days, shaped me in ways that I did not expect. I also keep minifigures from places that I visited. They're small, easy to overlook objects, but each one represents somewhere that has become part of my story. One of them is from Italy. I remember wandering through the streets, taking in the architecture, the food, and the culture. Everything felt so different from home, but it opened my eyes up to new perspectives. And now, something as small as a minifigure brings me right back there. And then there are the most unexpected treasures, which are probably my favorites. Childhood souvenirs. Old McDonald's toys, branded Barbie shoes, and plastic rings from Chuck E. Cheese. Now these might seem insignificant, but I remember going there with my cousins and my sisters, winning those rings and wearing them like they were magical. We made up games around them, pretending they had powers or that they were something bigger than they actually were. For us, they weren't just plastic. They were part of a whole world we had created. Those little adventures didn't last long. I think one of the rings even broke, but the memories didn't fade. That's the point of all this. These experiences were fleeting, easy to overlook, but their influence wasn't. This is what I call ephemeral permanence, the idea that something brief can leave a lasting mark on who we are. We often assume it's the big events, the ones that take the most time or seem the most important that define us. But sometimes it's the smallest moments. A note in a card, a short trip, a tiny object that stays with us the longest. My memory box is proof of that. It reminds me that nothing is ever really just a moment, because even when that moment ends, its memory can continue to shape us. So, I'll leave you with this. If you had a box like this, what would be inside it? What small, almost forgotten parts of your life have shaped who you are today? Because chances are, the ones that felt the smallest at the time are the ones that stayed with you the longest. Thank you.